People who made country music history. And now, here's your host, Archie Campbell.
Not only has he achieved monumental success as a performer and producer, his syndicated TV show has been one of the most popular in country music history. And in just a moment, we'll meet and talk with him about his colorful career. West Plains, Missouri, Porter Wagoner began playing the guitar as a teenager when he worked as a clerk in a market. During slack business times, he would sing and play for the owner and the customers. Because the market owner enjoyed Porter's playing so much, he sponsored a 15-minute radio program featuring Porter Wagoner, the market clerk. Well, this led to a job with KWTO in Springfield, Missouri, which in turn led to a spot on the Ozark Jubilee with Red Foley. Although his professional experience was limited, Porter was offered a recording contract with RCA. His first hit, A Satisfied Mind, was released in 1955, and he's made hundreds of records since. In 1961, Porter became host of his own syndicated TV show, which was the most successful program of its type in television history. In addition to being a TV star and a recording artist, Porter also began to produce records and made a great success at that as well. Winner of countless awards, including a Grammy, a CMA Vocal Duo of the Year with Dolly Parton, Porter has truly done it all. Here's Porter Wagoner with one of his most well-known hits.
High on the mountain, what do you see? Bear tracks, looking like a deer. You'd better get your rifle, boys, before it's too late. The bear's got a little big and headed through the cave. He's big around the middle and he crawled across the front, running 90 miles an hour, taking 30 feet a jump. He'd never been caught, he'd never been free. Some folks say he looks a lot like me. Saved up my money and I bought me some bees. They started making honey way up in the trees. I chopped down the tree, but my honey's all gone. Old Slewfoot's done made himself at home. He's big around the middle and he's crawled across the front, running 90 miles an hour, taking 30 feet a jump. He never been caught, he ain't never been treed. Some folks say he looks a lot like me. Winter's coming on and it's 20 below. The river's froze over, so where can he go? We'll chase him up the gully and run him in the well. Shoot him in the bottom just to listen to him yell. He's big around the middle and he's crawled across the front, running 90 miles an hour, taking 30 feet a jump. He never been caught, he ain't never been treed. Some folks say he looks a lot like me.
Grand Ole Opry star, TV star, recording artist, producer. Porter Wagoner wears all these hats, and he wears them mighty well. And I might add, not a native of Tennessee either. We got to do something about that.
Well, all right.
Give all that credit and let it go up there to West Plains.
West Plains, Missouri, yeah.
That was your birthplace.
That's it, yeah.
How old were you the day you was born?
Well, I was real young then.
At the time.
Born at home, wanted to be near Mama at the time.
Yeah. When did you start as a butcher?
Well, I started working in the grocery store when I was 14. And I learned the butcher's trade from a guy in West Plains. And I really enjoyed it because there's a lot of, it takes a lot of talent to be a butcher. A lot more to it than just slicing off his meat.
That's right. Porter, they tell me that you used to actually there in the store get up and sing to the customers. Is that true?
I did, yeah, sometimes. And when we weren't very busy, you know, I'd get the guitar out. The guy that that owned the grocery store was really my biggest fan, I suppose, because he really liked to hear me sing. There wasn't a lot going on in the store while he'd have me sing, and he would do my work, you know, so I kind of enjoyed that too.
And that's where Si saw you. That's where Si saw you. Si Simon saw you.
Si got me on record and really managed my career for a long time while I was there in Missouri. And he's the man that also brought the Ozark Jubilee to Springfield, Red Foley Show, which I became a member of.
Yeah.
Si has really been a big figure in promoting country music. Yeah. Not just me, but the Red Foley Ozark Jubilee Show, which was, as far as I know, the first network television show with country music on it.
How long were you with the Jubilee?
Well, I worked there, it started in 1953, and I was there till 1958. I moved to the Grand Ole Opry.
What was your first label?
RCA.
Oh, was that your first label?
They were the only label I ever recorded for until just a few months back, and I started recording for Viva Warner Brothers.
Well, what was your first hit?
My first hit...
your first record, let's go with that first.
Well, my first record was called Setting the Woods on Fire.
Yeah.
And Bringing Home the Bacon, which it didn't, neither one of them did anything, because Hank Williams had a hit on Setting the Woods on Fire. Yeah. And then the next one was Company's A-Comin', which actually did pretty well.
Wasn't that a big?
Well, it wasn't a huge hit. It wasn't a #1 hit. It was top 10. But it actually opened a lot of doors for me and got a lot of disc jockeys and people interested in me.
I would have thought that that would have been your first big hit.
It wasn't an international hit. It was, I forget what they call it when it's a hit.
Regional?
Regional hit, right.
Yeah, but you know, if they had, probably the reason is because they didn't know enough about how many records you could sell and probably didn't distribute it that well.
That's one of the reasons, I actually think.
Because that was a hit.
Yeah, it was a great song, and it's probably been performed as much as any of my records that I've had, but it actually didn't sell near as many to be a national hit as Satisfied Mind in 1955.
Well, that Satisfied Mind climbed to the top of the chart, so let's take a look at Porter Wagoner right now doing Satisfied Mind.
How many times have you heard someone say, if I had his money, I could do things my way, but little they know that it's so hard to find one rich man in 10 with a satisfied mind. Once I was waiting in fortune and fame, everything that I've dreamed for to get a start in life's game. But suddenly it happened, I lost every dime, but I'm richer by far with a satisfied mind. When life has ended and my time has run out, my friends and my loved ones, I'll leave them no doubt. But there's one thing for certain, when it comes my time, I'll leave this old world with a satisfied mind.
Satisfied Mind. I can see how that was a hit, Porter.
Wasn't he a good-looking dude then?
Yeah, golly. You always were big and fat.
You know, I wanted to tell you a quick story about that song, Satisfied Mind, of how much it cost me to do that record. I recorded that in Springfield, Missouri.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, at the radio station there. And I also recorded another song that was a #1 record on the same station, Eat, Drink, and Be Merry.
Yeah.
The two of those cost me a total, record production, musicians, studio costs, overdubbing, all that stuff that they do today cost me $82.80 to record 2 #1 records.
It didn't. Did you pay anybody for anything?
I paid union scale, and it was $40.40 at that time, union scale for a record station. I had 2 musicians and myself. It cost me a total of $82.80.
That's what it cost RCA or you?
That's what it cost me.
Yeah, well, you did it and then...
RCA paid that $82.80.
Well,
yeah.
that was nice. I don't know what
Was,
you think.
yeah.
We'll be right back with Porter Wagoner. First one, or one of the first.
I think probably I was the first syndicated show. I think Flatt and Scruggs did a show back then, but they did them live. They had about a 3 or 4 station hookup.
Yeah.
But they would go and do the show here and then the next night in Chattanooga. So
Yeah.
I believe it was first syndicated in 1960.
Yours?
Uh-huh.
We had a lot of people on that show. You've launched a lot of stars from that thing.
Well, I'm really very, very, very proud of the show. I've had almost everybody, I guess, in the music business on it at one time or another.
What gave you the idea for a TV show?
Actually, it was not my idea. Bill Graham with Showbiz in Nashville was the man that had the idea, and he came to the Opry and auditioned several people that was there. And most everybody that, well, he didn't actually audition them, he was just looking at them on the Opry.
Yeah.
And why he picked me, I don't really never have known, other than the fact he said I really projected a lot of honesty, and he felt like that I could sell a product because I wouldn't tell people something I didn't believe in myself,
Yeah.
which is true.
Yeah. Well, you had Norma Jean. Was that your first girl singer as a regular?
Yes, she was, yeah.
And then a little buddy of mine from up in Sevierville, I lived right close to her.
Dolly?
Dolly. How come you choose her?
Well, I thought she was more original than anyone I'd talked to, and I liked Dolly's was a beautiful girl and still is a beautiful girl. And she was a good writer.
Yeah.
She was in complete contrast to what Norma Jean was.
Yeah.
Norma Jean was a great singer, but a different voice, more of a husky, middle type voice. Norma Jean had a more of a housewife look.
Yeah.
Very pretty and very wholesome looking. Dolly was more of a
showgirl.
Showgirl, that's right, and she had a much higher pitched voice than Norma Jean. And all those things considered, because I wanted to get someone in complete contrast to her.
Well, you had a lot of hit records with Dolly.
Oh yeah, Dolly and I feel like we was probably one of the best duets. And I'm not taking anything away from anyone else, but I feel like her and my voice matched up better probably than anybody's I heard.
Now here's Porter and Dolly with a great record, The Last Thing on My Mind. 74, we're going around. Could you set the record straight right now about what really happened?
Well, there was, Dolly and I have not really, a lot of people think we have became enemies.
Well, no, but it's just like when you're working with a gal like this, see if I'm right, with anybody.
Yeah.
Day in, day out, on the road, and then you're eventually going to have some disagreements.
Absolutely.
I don't care who it is. But that's not true, what people were led to believe at one time.
Not at all, not at all. I'm not the kind of person that would want to hold anyone back. I want to see anyone that is associated with me do as much they can do and go as far as they can go. That's why I help people. I devoted about 7 years to Dolly's career.
Absolutely.
With all of the knowledge, all of the power that I could project with RCA to push her career and so forth.
Well,
so it'd be silly for me to be bitter about her success. Well, for God's sakes, that's what I wanted to happen, was Dolly to be as big as she could ever be in the industry. And she has become a superstar, and I'm very proud that I played a part in it.
Well, there was that time in there when I said, uh-oh, he's upset and so forth. And I think you made a statement one time, and which you probably was pressured into being asked a certain question, and you answered it.
All right. how that question came about, let me set that straight so
Yeah.
they can see this on television. The girl that did that interview edited parts of that interview out to where I said exactly what she wanted me to say, you know.
That's
They
awful.
can do that, and that's
Yeah.
not good for you.
Sure can.
The part that was used was said, Dolly could not work for me no longer. Okay. That was the part that really came out on the whole thing, but they didn't play the part that was built up to that.
Yeah.
The reason that was there was the Porter Wagoner show is my show.
Right.
If you work for me, you're going to do what I say or you're not going to work for me.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
And anyone else out there that works for me is going to be under my direction. I'm not hiring an advisor to come in.
That's right.
I'm hiring someone to work for me. I sign the check. I pay them. So, Dolly, one of our problems was we had communication breakdown on what was best for us as a team. Well, I make the decisions. When I don't make the decisions, you can't work for me anymore.
That's right.
So, if it's you or it's you, if you work for Porter Wagoner, you're going to do what he says, or you ain't going to work for him.
That's right.
And if that's wrong, why, get me off this show and take me out here and shoot me somewhere.
That's the way to tell. Well, that's right. You know, when you have an employee.
Absolutely.
When you have an employee and he becomes your equal, he's already your superior.
Right. Well, what happened this time, I told Dolly, I said, look, you're ready for your own career, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make decisions, that's what you need to have, a Dolly Parton show. Then you make the decision, have the headaches I got now. That's what happens, you know? So
Right.
that's, it's actually as simple as that, you know? Because I love Dolly. She's a beautiful lady and was great for me, golly, in every respect. But it don't matter if my mama is working on my show. Mama's going to do what Porter says.
We'll be right back with Porter Wagoner after this. Entertainer, but yeah, then later, I think it was probably after the Dolly thing that you went into producing.
Yes?
You still got your own, you still got your studio?
No, I sold the studio a little over a year ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did you enjoy being a producer? Is that any satisfaction?
Well, I enjoyed it quite a bit, Archie, but I got bored.
Yeah.
It's, I feel like I'm an entertainer,
Yeah.
a traveling man, singer, meeting the people that likes my singing and what I do is very important to me. Producing records, although I like to do it, it's very boring. It's the same thing over and over. And I was not happy doing that.
Yeah. But are you in any other business now?
Well, I'm just in the business of building my career back up to where I would be very happy.
You didn't
with it.
especially like you're almost off for about a year, right?
Well, I was off for almost 2 years that I
Really?
didn't do anything. You know, I just kind of produced records and just tried to
And you
keep a
didn't
low
like that?
profile and stay back of the business because I felt like the split of Porter and Dolly, the things that happened there had kind of disillusioned people about me, you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to roar out there and say, hey, this is that, you know, because there was just a lot of turbulence at that time.
You had a traumatic experience for a while there, and you did things, you trying to adjust, but but that happens in everybody's life, doesn't it?
I think a lot of people felt like I was having a traumatic experience when I really wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that of my career and everything. I really have never had a traumatic experience.
No.
I just didn't want to be out in the limelight during all this time with people asking me about this and about that, and when there was a lawsuit involved in it, and I couldn't talk with nobody about it because of the litigation and process, you know, so...
Don't say a word.
Right. So people thought that I was really under a traumatic experience. A writer once said that I was pretending I was a hermit down here. But I'm really happy with my career now. I'm probably happier than I've ever been in my life as far as in my soul, you know, because I'm doing what I want to do. I do love people, you know, and I know of nobody that I would rather sit down and talk about my career with. And the things that we've said were true, only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
We've been talking with Porter Wagoner. And be sure to join us again for Yesteryear in Nashville.